here it is, the video before final paint. It took me 37 hours to get to this point, and not 37 hours straight. You know I had to take some breaks, so that's why it took so long. But the 37 hours, if I was to combine them, that's how long it took me to basically sand this car down in 320 grit, and then once again in 500 grit. Now, sanding it in 37 hours straight is not possible, so I did it in sections, but I'm proud to show what I've accomplished in those 37 hours. So now, here is the deck lid, and I'll show you the reflection of the deck lid. As you know, the 500 grit does a nice reflection. Here's the roof, and you can see how nice that reflection is on the roof. For the quarter panel, here's the quarter panel. If you can see beyond the glare, there's a garage door on the side of the car. And then of course on this quarter panel, same thing. Basically you can see the reflection there. So I'm pretty happy with the way the car laid out as far as with the sanding. Basically just blocking it down with those grits and got it nice and done. The front filler panel is in metal, so it was done in 500 grit. Now this is a 74 and it does have front fender extensions, so those extensions were also done in 500 grit. And then as for rubber parts, here's the front fender filler panel extensions. Those were done in 320. I didn't go all the way to 500. And of course the rear filler panel is done over in 320. Now if you saw back in videos when I was constructing this modification for the rear fender panel, I had finished it off in 150 grit. So to ensure that I get a nice finish, I wanted to do 320 grit. Now why not go to 500? And that is because this is rubber and I'm not going to be primering this filler panel. Basically I'm just going to put my sealer over it and then do the process as far as base coat and clear coat. Now I had done that for, if you've seen one of the episodes where I showed the test piece as far as the painting, and to this day the paint is still on there real good. So I have that right here, and basically of course there's overspray and all this other stuff on it, but basically this is sprayed over 150 grit. And I don't know if you can see that, you can kind of see some of the sanding scratches on there. So but as far as durability goes, after all these months I can still bend it and the paint still holds. So I know that I'm gonna be fine. And then spraying over 320, there's the results. That sprayed over 320, and all of the car, the whole car, as far as every jam, was sprayed over 320. So I'm not worried about the performance or look of what I'm about to do as far as full final paint. So that's going to be looking good. And then here you can see I seam sealed the entire rear filler panel to the car, all the way around and on the sides. So the way I got that to laid out nice and smooth is I used two tools. Basically this is a caulking spreader, I guess for bathtubs and things like that. It's made out of rubber and it helped greatly for doing the corners and stuff. And then of course my finger, my little pinky, I used as a tool. Basically I grabbed it with my other hand like if it was a tool, and I just basically with my other hand guiding, just basically used my pinky to go all the way across, and I got a nice bead, really nice. So I'm happy with the way that came out. So now I gotta rip all of that masking off, all of it, because as I was sanding, a lot of that dust is everywhere. And so even though I blew the whole car down and gave it a wipe down with the microfiber, I'm going to be doing that several times before final paint. And of course I had to wax and grease, remove the entire car to get rid of all my handprints. I don't want any dust to start flying out as I'm spraying. So to be safe, I'm going to remove all the masking and remask. Now, it's a lot of time, but time well spent. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm going to rip all that masking off and remask and get it ready for final paint. Well, final masking, at least the bulk of it has been done, and I give you a little look at what I've accomplished. Basically the tail lamps had been remasked. That was easy. That's masked the same way. I just cleaned it up. The entire bottom of the car has a skirt on it, so you can see here that's where the car ends, and we have a little bit of an extension, and that's so that I can take my masking paper and put it all the way to the floor. So I did that for the entire perimeter of the car. So here's the bottom of the masking, and I went ahead and did this skirt all the way around the wheel well, and of course the wheels will be removed so that I can tape it to the floor. The rocker has been fully masked, and again here's a skirt, so you can see how much it extends below the rocker. And right there, over here in the front fender, there's nothing for me to make a skirt with, so I just basically put a lot of tape there so that I can have a surface area to grab on with paper. Over here I have masking, and then show you here, all the doors, you know, both doors and the window were done with this hole, and I will close off this hole again when I have the car in the booth, but I need the holes there because I'm going to be driving the car into the booth. Here's the one for the windshield. So I'll show you the engine bay. Engine bay has been masked with two holes, one for the carburetor and one for the fan. Since the car will be turned on, the fan will be blowing, I wanted to, you know, make a little hole there so that the air can flow out. The front has a very giant skirt, which will be going to the floor. There's only a little bit to go. This has been masked off. You can see, fully masked off. And then to mask these two things off, I put a skirt on the hood. So basically when I close the hood down, it will cover this, and then I take that skirt and I tape it onto the front radiator skirt. And so again, skirt, everything's done identical to the other side. Now for the jams, I'll show you for the jams here. I'm going to be using the 3M transition tape, so you can kind of see it there. And basically the way it's going to work is I have two of them there, and the first one here, when I rip it off, that's for the sealer, so that when I mask off for the base coat clear coat, it'll blend into the original base coat clear coat. And then of course when I unmask the car, it'll be an easy blending with well, at least that's what I'm hoping, with compound and wet sanding. So there's a front here, there's a skirt here that will be attached to the cowl for the hood. For here we have masking in the door jamb. That was very tedious to do, 3 tries, but I got it. And you can see there's masking there. Now in there I did some cover up just in case, and I'll show you when I get to the other door, because I can't open this door. It's fully sealed already. So there's the masking all the way around, and over here all the way around. Now for the drip rail, I decided to put masking right up to the bottom lip of the drip rail because the molding kind of clips onto here, and I want the new paint to blend in with the old paint. So that's how that is. And then for the other door, so that you can get an idea of what I did to both doors, because I did them identical. Basically it's been masked all the way around the door, all the way around, and I left a little lip for blending, and there it is all the way around. And I covered up the latch there, and here it is right there. For the front here, I'll show you. That's how I covered up this front hinge area, and the reason why I did that and went all out to cover that was because when I open a door I can see that, and if I have overspray there I'm not going to be too happy. So I did my best to kind of cover up in case overspray passes through there. And then on the bottom here I put some masking in between the two parts of the fender and the door, so that if overspray comes it can hit against my door pillar and not, I mean the tape and not the door pillar. I still have to do the masking for the door, which I won't do until the car's in the booth because that's very tedious to do. Once I close the door, it cannot be opened again, so I have to wait till it's in the booth. And so there's the masking for the door all the way down. And then over here again 3M transition tape, which I have a little tab here so that I can rip it off after I do the sealer. So that's the jam there. And of course these jams were done again with 3M transition tape. There's my little tab to be able to pull off, and I did that all the way around. And you can see here, let's see if the camera pick it up, you see there's a gap between the panel and the 3M transition tape. That's what I'm hoping will work for blending in the new paint with the old paint. But of course, since I'm going to be ripping that off, I just want to make sure that the sealer gets blended in, you know, kind of fades in. So that's pretty much the masking. Took me all day yesterday to do this. Today I'm going to finalize, and the car will be ready for paint. I'm going to be having the weekend. I rented a booth for the weekend, so when I get the car in the booth, one day I'll do the final masking all the way to the floor. You know, take the wheels off, put it on jack stands. I'll be prepping the car, finishing up the masking, finishing up the skirt, and wax and grease remove the entire car, get it all prepped for paint. Then the next day I will do painting the whole day, painting this entire car. It's not the same like painting jams, so I'm very nervous. Very, very nervous. Hope it comes out good. Well, you'll see that in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching.